Let's do some creative spring crafts for kids. Here are some cherry blossoms. There are a couple of cookie cutter cherry blossoms activities. We're going to go from cookie cutter to creative. Here are a number of cookie cutter flower crafts that are easily found online, and we are going to take cherry blossoms, flowers, and butterflies and try to show you how children can make them creatively without having to resort to cookie cutter. Here are some butterflies that are obviously very cookie cutter. So we're going to start with flowers. We have a couple of different ways of doing flowers, and let's start with one. This flower activity is one that I did a long time ago, and I'm going to show you the results from that from here, but I'll show you exactly how we made it. It's a multi-step project. So you need coffee filters. Okay, you take one coffee filter, and they need washable markers to color them in. Now, I'm going to show you two different ways of coloring that you have to be careful. This is one way when it's thick and close, and this is another way. And let me show you why it's important, because what you're going to do is you need a paper here, and then you could always use that paper afterwards, and you need a spritz bottle filled with water, and then you go to spray it. And then when you spray it, it kind of melts, dissolves into each other and makes very beautiful effects on this coffee filter. But if you don't color it well enough, you don't really get a lot of that. So that's just to show you how it really should be colored very well. Otherwise, it won't look good. Second thing to do is to take cupcake holders, just plain white cupcake holders. You do need to make sure, the reason we put it on here is because it goes through, and anything else you're going to spray it on top of it's going to go through. So you can always use these papers for collage or something like that afterwards, but like this you can save them and they'll know whose they are by writing their names on the paper. So then when you're doing the cupcake holders, you don't really need washable markers. You can, but you don't need it because you're not going to spray these. They're not as soft, this material, and they're not going to spread as well. So you can use gel pens, you can use oil pastels, you can use regular markers. Then you need some of these. If you recognize these, sometimes they're flat, and when they're all dried and together, you can show them how they can put these through here and put them through here, and then you'll give them this really nice large tag board paper for them to create their beautiful spring flower pictures. And I'm going to show you now a number that were done with children a while back. So here are how some children used these filters and cookie cutters, cupcake holders. They have a very long piece of tag board. They were able to color, add various things to it. We might have helped them put the paper fasteners together, and they use glue. And look at these gorgeous spring flower pictures that they made using this multi-step activity of the coffee filters and the cupcake holders. Now we're going to go to regular flower collages. So here would be an array of some of the materials that we give for flower collages. And here are some. Of course, these are all different ages, some younger. You can use lots of different materials. These just give you an idea of the types of things that you could give for them to make flower collages, pom-poms and the cupcake holders. Now here was something I had once wanted to do daffodils. So those were materials I gave for daffodils. This was one example, and these were some other collages. So here we will be making cherry blossom landscapes. So we teach the kids, if they don't already know, a basic horizon line, that the line that they put over here separates the sky from the ground. Everything below is ground and everything above is sky. And then you can have them either color with markers or choose how they want to color in the sky. Now, of course, even though I talk about the fact that there's lots of sunsets and stuff, they usually end up just painting the whole thing blue. And then on the bottom, they can also do grounded, so it's green, it's brown, okay? Then, when they are all finished, you will have them draw trees. Now, you can show them pictures of trees that are on the bottom, trees that are on here, but they're gonna draw trees any way they want. And then the idea is to take the spring colors, cherry blossoms, spring buds, white, and have them add them to the trees. You could do it 3 different ways. You can use a little pom-pom to do that. And we get that all over here. Okay. You can use Q-tips, and they'll do them like that. And if you'd like, you can also use a brush. So those are 3 different ways that they can make their spring trees, cherry blossoms, or just green buds. Now I'll show you some samples of ones that I have done a long time ago. As you can see, they can use oil pastels to color in the trees, Sharpies, paint, a variety of things, but the idea is to give them the colors and the opportunity to make these spring buds and cherry blossoms. Okay, now I'm going to show you one way we would make butterflies. Take a piece of tagboard or paper, you fold it in half, and then you instruct the children to take some kind of pencil or paper and just make 2 wings on either side. That one was not working. It could be pencil, Sharpie, anything. And they're just going to make 2 wings. And you need to have paint that will be thick and wet because you're going to fold the paper. So I'm just using the paints I had left from my cherry blossoms. You can use any colors. I think I'll add another couple. And then you use these colors to paint in those wings. You could fill them up. You could make lines. You can make dots. You can create them any way they want. The idea is to just do it on one side. When they're all finished, adding in the paint, they could just do it just with a brush without drawing it as well. You basically fold it over, and when you open it up, you will see a beautiful, symmetrical butterfly. Now, if you want to make it look more like a butterfly, then you can just take a pencil or a marker, or in this case, have an oil pastel and just add antennas. You can also outline it. Here's another way of making butterflies. You show a bunch of pictures of butterflies, and in this case, I had given them many, many different colors. Then you have them draw the body in the middle. They draw the wings, and then they just paint one side, and then they copy exactly what they see on one side to the other side. So they're learning all about symmetry, and it really can be done. They're not very hard. They're just drawing the body, wings, and then they just paint exactly what they see on one side. You do the first side, and then they do the second side. If you want to learn more about switching from cookie cutter crafts to creative arts and crafts, see me at eduartforkids.com.